Always something clever to say, Lucas, right before the curtain goes up. Hello, we're back. Lucasgvariety here with my friends to play Dungeon World Indigo Magic, episode number 4 on July the 7th, 2020. And I think Alavara froze, or she has a really good smile that's just going to stay right there, but she'll catch... Oh, no, she popped.
There we go.
Boom. Popped right back into reality. Anyway, we're back, guys. We are back. This is our 4th episode already, and I'm happy to be here with you guys. Happy post-Independence Day and happy post-anniversary for my wife, I'll just say. 12 years married and 17 together. Woo. It's hard to do nowadays, but we doing it. Happy anniversary. Babe.
How you haven't been strangled yet is a mystery to us all.
Including her and myself. Anyone who knows us. And my own mother, who's like... Well, anyways, let's not go there. Just kidding, Mom. Love you. All right, so we're back. Dungeon World Indigo Magic, episode number 4. And this week's recap, in-character recap, will be Cecil Angelson, the Overlord / manager from Soundwaves Go. So I'll just go ahead and turn it over to him. He's somewhere one of these directions. So I'll pass.
Yes. From my recollection, we were in a bit of a pickle in the middle of a dungeon because our tinkerer had done tinkered off into the treasure room and every bad guy in the monster villain's lair and decided to bring them to us, while we also managed to attract all the attention that we could possibly want from the monsters that were popping out of coffins around us. Our, I would say, warrior woman, she was surrounded by them and she wasn't faring so well without any support. The support finally returned and I decided to wade into melee myself and test out my hammer, mace, or whatever I have today. Whatever the minions bring me, I don't really care. It doesn't matter. They don't even matter. Shut up, I'm talking. And anyway, so we ex-conned from the dungeons due to damage to our main battle party and the assistant guy. Oh yes, and the bard. The bard found a hole in the ceiling because he's a bard. They never do anything useful. Let's see, moving on. We got out. Oh yes, we were going to camp outside the dungeon. All of us agreed that was a stupid idea. Instead, we moved upon our way home. We stopped to talk to my minions, which was the worst decision we made on the whole trip, about dragon droppings or something. I still don't know why they wanted poo, but whatever. They are... What are you, anyway? Jackal. That was a jackal. Huh. More like a donkey. Anyway, we come back to town. I'm, of course, now reeking of road sweat and tired, and I haven't had it is a broken nail. I haven't had any... Oh my God, my whole finger is... Ew. Get a rag for it. One second. Anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying? I didn't ask you. Shut up. We went back to town, and I was ready to get my feet cleaned and get some of this road dirt off of me. And then the group decided, let's go talk to the wizard and get this item off before whatever took it away from him in the first place tries to come back and get it, I assume. Well, surprise, surprise, he's not available. And he's caused some more ruckus. And that's... Why am I narrating this to you anyway? You were there the whole time.
This camera just looks over at you. You've been telling this to your one minion. Everyone else is just looking at you. Maybe not. I don't know. We're going to break the fourth wall here in this game a lot, I think.
There's at least 17 walls.
I'm sorry, break the wall? No, we're going to skip rope with it.
That's what happens when you have in-character recaps.
Has anybody ever read Order of the Stick? Because those are characters that kind of know when they level up and they talk very mechanically, like D&D mechanics. So I've always wanted to play a game like Dungeon World that involves the characters kind of knowing that they're characters in a game. And
meta knowledge is so much fun.
It would be interesting, but we might... Well, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Thank you, Cecil Angelson, said some
You're
weird
welcome.
voice out of nowhere into your ears. And
You're welcome, Dad.
As you guys are in the city of Boston, as we can recap a little bit about the city as we built it last time, this is our main city that everybody's from, and they stand outside the Wizard's Tower, Zorm, son of Zorm, the rickety old tower that kind of goes up. It's spherical, but kind of shakes and is missing brick and mortar in some spots and part of the roof. And it seems darker here than the rest of the city. Seems like there's a cloud directly over, although it's a very sunny summer day. And this is where we left off last time, as you were speaking to Zorm's Kragan, who was perched outside, who's a cat dragon.
Blaming us for whatever's going on with the magic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As if.
So we're in the city of Boston, which is Germanic medieval architecture. Lots of pointy things and peaks. These are my quick notes last time, right? Please throw in with me as we go. People are fairly gruff. It is divided into 5 precincts, this whole city. The arcane, the residential, the trade, the industrial, and the resplendents, or the rich. So it is ruled by a council, elected by the people, but actually run by the guilds.
Yeah, like they.
Yeah. Oligarchy, called the Council of 5 Stars. And that's all I'm going to say. I'll let you guys fill in the rest of those blanks, just to kind of get a picture of where we are. And we are actually in, of course, the arcane precinct of this city, right? Anybody else want to throw in a little extra? Whether it's new or...
Yeah, the rich folk. The rich folk in the
Resplendent.
the fancy pants person district.
That's how you say it,
Like
actually.
their
Yes, you can call it that.
stained glass windows, and the super fancy ones like to get their moving stained glass windows.
It is resplendent to behold.
Indeed.
Let's see. It was the Council of the 5 Stars, right? Divided into 5 districts represented by different color, maybe a different sigil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like the arcane sigil is like this weird looking flame, like icy flame. It kind of involves all the elements together, different parts of magic. Which is weird I say that because you guys are standing outside Zorm's tower, and you can feel that the air is a little strange. The magic that pulsates in all your veins, except for those who don't cast magic, feels a little bit odd. And you have this Kragan here, who is like the front half more like a cat, furry, and it kind of resolves into scaly tail with leathery wings. And she is mostly all black, except for like a white streak down her chest and white paws. And Olivara would have probably seen her. No, actually, you did not. This is the first time you've seen this Kragan. It's like, the wizard's familiar. And when she speaks, it's more through telepathy. So her mouth doesn't really move. At least for speaking purposes, right? And so, yeah, she's basically, you brought the Z pendant back to Zorm on this picture. The background, let me see. You can see it on my green screen back there. And it's black, and it's got like a silver or a platinum outline traced in around it. It's probably got diamond studding in it. It's real bling-tastic, real gangsta. And Zorm didn't just misplace it. His Kragan had taken it, hidden it in the dungeon that we first were in, and then Zorm's like, "Hey, bring me back my pendant. I hire you guys." And you have. You get to the front steps in the city, feeling the weird with your magic anyway, feeling the strangeness all about. And it seems like I said, there's like a cloud over here. It's overcast, but there's no clouds in the sky. And the Kragan's sitting up on a post by the mailbox. And it's just hissing at you like cats do. And it's like, "Fools! I hid that." And she's pointing at Ralph, holding it, right? She's like pointing at Ralph. "I hid that far, far away. To get it out of here. It's not doing any good, and you brought it back."
We were hired to bring it back.
"I told him to not look for it." And her wings flap irritably, and her tail swishes like a cat's.
Perhaps you should have hidden it better, because he knew precisely where it was.
She's connected to it. It doesn't matter. I hid it. Did you find trouble when you were there? I hid it in an old crypt with a bunch of mummified bodies and piles of bones. Perhaps,
Oh, yeah.
Those two sound familiar.
and that's all that. There was no activity, nothing living there except for a few spiders. Did you perhaps find more?
Oh, nothing living, no.
The cat actually looks like it smiles. The Kragan looks like it smiles at you, like a knowing smile. Yes, not so easy to get back. And now, you know why? It's because of the item itself. She points at it with a little cat claw. And now you brought it back here. And Zorm is already hip deep in trouble inside. And, uh-oh. And coming out of the woodwork, coming down the street, I am pulling out one of my GM dangers here that are still in reserve. You see, for lack of a better word, the guard of this precinct, the mage guard. So it's a bunch.
Mhm.
It's a bunch. It's basically the magic police, and they come with long, flowing, like burgundy robes, but they got like these chest plates over top of them, and they got these like conical helmets on them, like the Minas Tirith ones, kind of.
Mhm.
And they got some like
They probably even got like stars and moon motifs in them.
yeah, they have like yep. And here comes like a group of like 20 of them, and they approach the tower. Kind of, you guys have come in the front gates, and they're kind of filling in behind you right now. As they do, 3 of them step forward. The Kragan like gets low, like a cat tries to disappear on top of the post.
Is this Kragan cat-sized or is this Kragan dragon-sized? Somewhere in between.
Oh, I'm sorry. At the moment, I mean, always. At the moment, she's cat-sized. House cat.
Okay.
Always at the moment. Got it.
Sure. Yep.
Hmm.
And so 3 of these mage guards step forward. You can tell they all 3 look like they are of the, well, the front one looks like a captain, flanked by 2 sergeants.
It's like,
And they step forward, and one's like, Captain Peralta addressing the group. State your names and your business here.
Ralph McLeod, we were hired by the Wizard for a job, and we're here to cash in. And
I didn't ask what you're doing here. I just asked for your names. And he looks over to Cecil next.
Cecil Angelson, tavern owner.
And then the guy immediately to his right, shorter guy, taps him on the shoulder and whispers in his ear. He's like, "You stay right there, Cecil. We have a warrant for you."
Oh, okay.
I'm pulling out my second danger. So there's a warrant for Cecil. And then he looks at Elvira. He's like, "Your name?"
Alavara.
The woman whispers in his ear. He's like, "Oh, a one-namer. How heroic." And he finally looks at the bard. He's like, "And you?"
I am the Reaper.
Oh. He steps like, And they both all kind of step back. So the woman to his left's like, she really gives you a look. She whispers again, like, "All right. You, Jester, what's your name?" He's like looking at the violin on your back.
And he does. I'm a barber.
Barber. Yeah, okay. He goes, "Charles?" And the little guy on his right is like, "Cecil Angelson, warrant's been placed for your arrest, coming for questioning on perchance of several accounts of, what do they call it? Several accounts of neglect and abuse, most coming from the business of the Golden Fang. So you're wanted for questioning on behalf of your employees."
Okay. I don't have any employees, however.
There's quite a few that seem to work there, but one in particular, I don't remember. What's your alpha's name?
Beta.
Oh.
I was waiting for it. That's like a mic drop moment.
Oh god. I don't think I knew that.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I knew I was close. Okay, yeah, he's like, he goes,
Oh, actually, it's Delta. Sorry.
is it Delta? He goes,
Yeah.
a complaint from one Delta and several accounts of neglect.
That makes sense. She actually works for my dad. Worked.
Charles
What's
is
the
like,
past tense for someone that's dead but not really ever was alive? Is there a word for that?
inherited servants. Doesn't
There
matter.
you go. There you go.
Yeah, yep.
He does the snappy finger at a guy. See, this is why I like you guys. You guys are smart.
He goes, you want it for questioning, but
Of course.
Amy? Or actually, he's like, Santiago? Santiago steps forward. She's like clicking the buttons on this like basically gem-studded like clipboard. Just she goes, yep, the readings are from here, but over the last 10 minutes they have increased, which was the approximate time that these four arrived. So all the corruption that we're seeing in the void here is coming directly from the tower, but it's also stemming from the four of them. So Peralta's like, the captain.
The amulet, actually. The item that we were sent to retrieve and have been returning to the wizard.
She's like, you're saying the amulet is what's corrupted? Let me see it.
Ralph will hold it up. It's like, I mean, looks just like a piece of hardware, but I mean, things have been kind of.
Keep it there. Keep it there for a second. She cuts you off and she steps up and she holds the clipboard up in front of her. You know, it's kind of like. She's like, and then she's like zoning it on all of you. She's like, indeed, the amulet is tied to the tower, but all four of them still register as corrupted. And she steps back. And the mages start to spread out at that point. Like Peralta like nods his head, and the mages spread out and surround you guys.
You sure? And,
I
like,
have been called worse.
and like Ralph will raise an eyebrow. It's like, you sure that thing's calibrated right? That looks like what, a Mark II model?
She goes, I calibrate it every single day. It's impeccable. It's been cleaned 3 times daily as its calibration and updated at least twice a week.
More philosophical note, aren't we all corrupted in some manner?
I don't think that'll help you.
Charles is like, oh, listen to the poet. Don't you know it? And they all laugh. And then they get serious.
Oh
Stone
dear,
face.
you can rhyme. Perhaps you can mind myself if I give the time.
It's like- Charles is like,
Even better. Shh.
Charles looks like he's going to respond to you with a rhyme. Then he's like,
I wouldn't encourage him.
Peralta steps forward. He's like, listen. Normally, you know the law. Corrupted magic gets taken in, gets purged if possible. Whether that costs your life or not is irrelevant. But if it's purged and you're deemed clean after, a time of quarantine, you're released. But this is something different. I'll make you a deal. Even for you, Cecil. Well, he looks at Charles. Charles is like, He goes, well, Cecil, doesn't matter. We're still going to have to take him in. But
That's fine.
here's the thing. You go into that tower there, and we'll lock you in. If you can purge everything out of there, you can walk out. If not, he's like, he looks at his watch. I mean, why not? It's high fantasy. Whatever his watch, his timepiece is, right?
Steam watch.
Steam watch. He's like, yeah, we'll give you a day. If you're not back out in a day, we drop this tower into the bowels of the earth, right into the ley line itself, and just, evaporate everything. But if you can clean it and walk out, everything will be good. Questions? Good. I didn't think so.
But
So, like, Ralph is just like, he blinks for a second. It's like, and our lawyers are where?
you have a lawyer?
They all laugh. They're like, lawyers. Yeah. Remember, you're in the Arcane District, sir.
Yeah, They don't do lawyers over here because magic is uncorruptible. And he points at the tower. Uncorruptible.
She's like, so Santiago looks at you and goes, sir, it's starting to peak a little bit more. He goes, lawyers, schmoyers, it doesn't matter. We can take you out right here if you want to do this, or you can walk yourselves inside that tower, get rid of everything, and you come back out and you're clear. Maybe we'll even give you a little something for helping us out. Cecil, we'll see you afterwards. Or the problem will take care of itself.
Obviously. I mean, Delta will just do the same thing I did because that's her job, and then I'll just report her. We'll just keep playing that game all day. You guys never check your own records.
So, like, Ralph grumbles a bit, and he starts patting down his pockets for a second. He's just like, and then he looks at the chick with the clipboard. It's like, you seem to be like the better equipped one. Take it to our artificer or something. Yeah.
Peralta's like, the nerd, we call her, but sure. And she's like, shut up. Artificer, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Look, amount of components. If you want this stuff actually done, I need some stuff. And he rattles around and pulls out that pouch of coins, and he says, I need the clipboard for components, and I imagine you have magic chalk. Yeah?
You said, what'd you say? You said magic chalk?
Magic chalk. Essentially, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to barter for some materials here.
Why don't you, can you defy danger with some charisma? Or unless you haven't. Or are you trying to apply it to her intelligence?
I'm trying to apply to her intelligence because A, I know she's a smart one out of the bunch.
Yeah, you're right.
So, and B, also it's like, hey, you want me to do something? I'm going to need parts, and I'm willing to pay for you.
Okay.
Pay for it right now.
All right. Defy danger with intelligence.
That's a 12.
That,
Not a crit, but it's 12.
That's very nice. There we go. Let's do that. So she's like, sure, sir. What were you trying to refill your...
I'm trying to refill my components, aka my stock.
Okay.
So, because I've been out of stock, and if I want to be able to do anything, I need the stock.
So, what do you have to do? You just have to buy? Like, how's it work?
I either need to gather them or I buy them, essentially.
How much?
So normally it's like an hour's worth of looking around a place that makes sense. Which for Ralph, it would normally be his workshop, or like a shop or like magic scrapyard or something for parts and pieces, for him to have materials to do his enchanting.
So how much does it cost you then?
So normally it just costs me the action, but in this case I'm essentially bartering to try to get at least some with money that I have.
How much money are you giving her? How much coin?
I am willing to part with 120 gold pieces.
So like you hold this bag out?
Yeah.
Santiago looks at them and Peralta's like, and so she steps forward. She goes, step forward. And you see the mages kind of tense around. And you see that some of them their helmets start to glow. All kind of in unison, like they glow this kind of yellowish, like bright yellow color. And they kind of turn to red. And they are kind of like, you just hear some low murmured chanting under their breaths. She steps forward. She goes, my clipboard, some chalk. You're going to give me 120 coin.
Well, I need the parts. If you guys are going to shunt us in there, I at least need to be able to work.
She goes,
so
very well, set the coin on the ground.
Ralph does.
And she's like, She looks at you. She studies you real close for a minute. Like, looks right down in your dwarven eyes. They're all human. Just to be clear, everybody that came up here. She's like, "You're serious, aren't you?" And
Deadly serious. You're going to shunt me in there?
she
I mean, look at it.
She checks her clipboard all the time. Like, you're the Enchanter, Tim's son. Do good work. And she like takes out a small vial, and she sets it on the clipboard, and then takes out some chalk and puts it on the clipboard, and then sets it on the ground, picks up the money, and then quickly steps back.
You're a credit to your force, madame.
Cecil turns around, looks at his minions that are howling behind him. See, this is why I don't pay you guys. This financial
they'll actually be
transaction
useful?
has taken like 30 minutes. I could have just said, "Hey, go get me some chalk," and you guys would have just done it by now. And they can't stop you guys because they don't know what you are. What? No. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Are we going in? Because
Yes,
two of us
we're
are almost
going
dead.
in.
So we might as well go and finish it off.
Yes, yeah.
So they're like, "All right, you and that creature as well." And you see the Kragan like hitch up, and she's like, "If you find Zorm, make sure he stops using magic. Make sure he's not allowed to use magic anymore. I have a lead on what's going on. If you can get a hold of Zorm, tell him to send you to his vacation spot. I will see you there." And Santiago's like, hey, you guys, the Kragan's planning on not... And then suddenly she pushes off the Kragan. She hisses and she pushes off, and she just sprays everybody with a cloud of... I'm trying to think of a breath weapon for a cat. And I think it's kind of like their pee. I thought ammonia. So I think she sprays all of you, and all of the mages with this gas cloud of ammonia, and just shoots off into the sky as I'm using my third GM danger. And go ahead, and everybody can defy danger with a Constitution roll.
Oh, can we?
And
Okay.
Or you cannot.
well, there's the
Hello, experience.
hello experience.
Alavar and Benny, please mark experience.
Huzzah!
So, Ralph,
Constitution isn't even like one of my bad stats. It's a 15.
here's the thing.
Wow.
Here's the thing. If you
I
fail,
have a +1.
all those who failed... Yeah, she just kind of takes off in a cloud. So for those of you failed, you're gonna mark the sick box in your Constitution score, the little box there underneath the score. That'll reduce your Constitution by 1, and it will stay that way. You will remain sick until you have time to really rest and recover. For the person that did the partial success,
That would be me.
that would be 1 point of damage as you're sick temporarily. Gets you a little green in the gills, but then you push past it. And Ralph is kind of like,
It smells like bad tuna mixed with pyrites. Ugh.
the mages step back and they start firing magic missile and acid arrows and some things she just like flutters off and is gone. And they look down at you guys like, and they all now point their arms at your direction. You guys are all still right there.
Yeah.
I'm just standing
Relax.
there, like,
What
my
are
hands
all
up,
that? What are all that? Relax.
I'm just like, bring it. I'm at that point where I'm like, bring it. Just do it. Same difference.
Go ahead, Benny.
Oh, come on. It wasn't that bad.
He points down his menu. I live with these creatures. So you're a person now. Funny.
Oh, shit. Benny, were you going to do something? Oh. Just throw up.
Ugh. Captain, what is your name?
I'm Captain Jacob Peralta.
If I make it out of this tower and I set up my shop, You are free to come by for the closest shave you will ever know.
He's like, nice. Cool. I just might do that. Assuming you're not going to slit my throat. And then Charles like, Jake, he's going to slit your throat. Seriously. He's like,
It's so obvious.
he's like, hey, cool. We're fine. He goes, all right. Now you guys get along inside before this corruption grows any worse. We got to go wash our tunics. Ta-ta. And this...
Yeah. And it's like, I swear, customer service is going to be the end of me.
Jodo, I messaged you.
Yep, I saw it.
Okay.
I've added it to my inventory.
Okay.
So I've also went ahead and just marked that as full stock now.
Yep. Full stock is fine. I was going to tell you that.
The Arcane Guard are the most insufferable guards I have ever had the misfortune of dealing with.
Well, that's what happens when you let them govern themselves.
Well,
in
I
most
kinda-
cases they're fine, but
I don't know. I honestly don't like the gold plates all that much. The rich people guards are. Ugh. Oh,
I don't even
they're not
get
even a
started on
police
the gold
force. They're
plates.
just anyway.
Yes, well, the gold plates have the proper respect for what I do.
all right. Well,
I think it's because you're a girl.
Indoors
Talk about
in
resolving that
general,
bond.
I mean, gold plates are naturally pretty chauvinistic. I mean, like there's just just this image of a squat dwarf just he's not wrong. That's kind of how they act.
Let us get inside.
Yay.
And once you enter these big double doors, wooden
I don't
bound.
enter
Oh,
immediately. I'm
real
holding
quick.
a minion out in front of me as I walk through the door, like by the scruff of their neck. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
okay, we're fine. We're fine.
Yes, Ralph.
Real quick.
Yes.
I do have a new bond with
Oh, yes.
Avola. Olivera. Olivera.
Medicated bond cream.
And I would like that bond to be. Olivera's not as awesome as I remember, but I still got a debt to owe.
Oh. Okay.
Use you. I am the best.
You did get a lot of experience last time from certain roles that it's a
And the
trade-off.
best medicated cream you will ever know.
I
Okay.
actually did put in a couple of bonds myself. I actually put in one for Ralph and one for Cecil.
You want to share?
Ralph seems like the dependable sort. Keep an eye on him.
Yep.
And for Cecil, has some sort of ambition. Perhaps this can be to my advantage.
Those are perfect. Yep. That's all you need is a little statement. And then when it's proven true or it's no longer relevant or you just don't like it anymore, you're like, Lucas, this thing's out of here. I'm like, poof, be gone with you. Write a new one. All right.
All right. Be ready for Alivar to be completely useless because I'm out of soul.
Mm-hmm.
I use a soul glow.
You guys just wanted to turn that? It doesn't matter.
It made
okay.
sense at the time.
It did. I mean, I'm just making all this up as I go. And I still have one thing to use against you guys. I just added stack things on to make it interesting. One GM scare.
Didn't you say you only had 4?
Yeah, I used 3. I brought the guard, I sprayed you with ammonia breath weapon, and I put a warrant out for Cecil.
It's not the first time.
I have to admit, the warrant made perfect sense. The warrant came up, and I was like, "Yeah, that sounds reasonable."
Oh yeah, I expected something like that.
I
I get 2 rolls for that warrant when it comes around because there's one on my playbook that's related to it that then rolls into the next roll for me to actually try to deal with it.
It's gonna be so
Yeah,
good.
here I'm
Get
sitting
it.
hoping that there hasn't been any donations because I have not been looking at Twitch chat at
Oh.
all.
There's been nothing so far.
Nothing so
Thank
far.
God.
And you guys have an auto a 10 plus to use whenever you are ready. So let me switch back over to that. I don't have a map actually drawn for today, but it's basically a tower with a couple floors that are all the same. So we'll just play in the theater of our minds tonight, and I'll have something better for you next time. So these big double doors, big wooden doors with iron bindings, just kind of, we hear them, and you're inside. And the outside, we see the mages all working in tandem, erecting this kind of magical barrier, this wall that they kind of just tightly fit around the tower to seal it in. And it's starting to draw attention from other onlookers and gawkers at this point, and it's becoming a spectacle. And there you guys are on the first floor of Zorm, Son of Zorm's tower. Let me get down to my notes. There we go. It's a roundish tower, right? It's an old tower, round, here before a lot of the newer architecture of the city. It's about 50 foot in diameter. You probably see from here to the other side. There are some windows there, all been shuttered from the inside at this point. There's a clutter of tables and shelves full of books and vials and alchemist stuff. But it's been scattered all over. It's not like it's been wrecked, like someone turned over the place, but it's just like tons of books. Like he was in the middle of reading 50 books, and there's just like several, like there's shelves with all kinds of jars of different bits of animal, eyes of newt and all those things. There's things hanging from the ceiling, there's maps and scrolls and tapestries on the wall. Just everything you can think of in a standard Wizards thing, all in this room, like immediately. So it's like his workplace as soon as you walk in the front door. You can see there's like something that resembles a small kitchen that's part of the room at the very far end. To the right are the stairs going up to the next level. And to the left are the stairs going down into the cellar. That is what you see. You got a few candles burning in sconces on the wall, a few candles and lanterns on their various tables at different heights of flame. It's kind of it's got a smoky atmosphere, just a little bit kind of, and it just feels kind of off. You hear the clink, like if a couple pieces of glass sounds like they clink off each other, and like the shifty movement of something over there. And then it sounds like something's like a rat or something is scurrying across under a book over there. It's just kind of eerily quiet. Other than that, here's our setting. What do you guys do?
Does anyone know exactly what we're looking for?
Zorm.
Other than that,
No,
this
that is what
corruption
we
that
are
we have
looking
to
for.
purge.
I assume Zorm would have more information, being that he is the wizard.
Can I attempt to, what is it exactly labeled as? Spout lore. To try to use my knowledge of how kind of magic in such works for my enchantment to kind of explain what the corruption is and potentially how we deal with it. You are muted, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. You want to spout lore about the corruption specific, or about magical corruption specifically?
Yeah, and how to deal with it.
Okay. Yeah, good. That makes me think of something on the spot. Go ahead and make a roll plus intelligence or plus int. Oh,
best skill, my best skill.
Oh, you hit that 10 plus for a success. Let's see. The GM will tell you something interesting and useful about the subject relevant to your situation. Okay. So, you don't know of all the magics there are. So basically, there's magic as a whole. Then magic breaks down into a couple categories, and then those categories break down into subcategories of magic, which break down into lower classes of magic, right? And it seems the wizard's magic is definitely one of those that has to be near the top of what magic is before it starts to break down and trickle down into other subclasses of magic. And it would seem, especially standing here, especially since they said the corruption was centered here on his amulet and the tower, it would seem that the corruption is going throughout his magic, but therefore has now been trickling down into you guys individual magics yourselves. So the way to solve that is to find the source and eradicate it. Whether it's the wizard himself, it's his source of power, or whatever is actually corrupting that source of power, whatever you can find the easiest, wherever you can sever the connection, should hopefully do the trick.
So, we are saying, to fix this problem, we literally need to turn it off and turn it back on again.
Yeah, kind of like.
More like cut out the cancer.
Well, I like.
I
Coming
mean, but
from
if you
each of
cut
your-
out if you cut it, but you can't necessarily just cut out magic. That's
Maybe.
not how that works. But I guess
Depends on
his
what's corrupting it.
his magic power source essentially needs the reboot to be less corrupting.
I like the viewpoints of the specific characters that gave them. It fits each character specifically.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So,
I
I'm
turned back to my
Zorm.
minions. Like, this
Gives
is
him the
why
message from his
you
Kragan.
feed off of me. Because it's confusing. Otherwise. Shh, don't tell them.
So Alavar
Thank you for
spoke
joining
true.
us.
We need to find Zorm.
Find Zorm. His Kragan apparently has a lead on the corruption. I assume that is what that creature was referring to.
So, and this doohicker, and like Ralph will hold up the amulet. It's like apparently is us connected in some way, shape, form. Like this is the first time that kind of the gears in Ralph's head has also started turning a little bit. It's like, I mean, what is even in this thing?
Personal theory, the amulet is connected to the wizard's power. The wizard's power is corrupt. Us having spent time around and with the amulet have absorbed some of that corruption. Just a theory.
It's a good one.
I mean,
And
it's
she
the-
gestures to the stairs. Shall we search for the wizard?
Cecil scratches his head.
Oi.
Wasn't that what the guys outside actually said? Was that exactly? You know what? Onward!
But I will remind you, Alavara, that just before you got to the grotto, and maybe it was because it was expanding, you don't know, but you guys all felt that your magic was a tiny bit off just before you went on this quest, or during the going of this quest. So maybe it was some residue left behind. It still could be connected, but I just want to bring up that point.
Yeah.
Just
that is a
maybe
fair
it's insignificant, but I just want to make sure they have all the information.
Mm.
Thank you, Wendup13 IRD, for joining us, by the way. You are an awesome teacher for running this game for your students. I hope you enjoy.
Yes.
I hope you enjoy. So, you guys, you got this whole room, all kinds of stuff around. Stairs going up, stairs going down. More tinkering of glass, like glass tinking on other glass. Glass moving on a wooden shelf, like other little creaks and cracks and, things. What are you doing?
Alavar is just going to head for the stairs and search up.
The stairs to go upstairs?
Sounds
Yeah.
a good idea. This room is obviously where he was, but he's not here.
Obviously.
And I'm not touching anything that wizard has just lying around.
And that's when you hear...
Seems-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that seems the intelligent route.
And that's when glass...
Ralph wanders over to one of the books and looks through the books that are open to see what the hell he was researching.
There is a lot of tombs on magic, or the magic stems. There is on the different types of magic. You hear glass shatter off one of the shelves. And
Wasn't me.
Cecil, control your minions.
actually, one of the first books you look at is about enchantment magic.
Cecil turns around. See, there's all two of them are right there, and there's a third one across the room.
Cecil, you have one of your minions actually looking at where it sounds like the glass shattered from, like looking down at it, like,
See, I told you you're allergic to glass.
no,
I think.
No, I didn't knock it over. It knocked itself over.
I know. That's the allergy.
No.
Get back over here. Come.
No,
Come on.
It's
Come on.
And then
come on.
you just see like this hand. You see like this hand coming up, and she's like, no, and just
Aw.
there's something you hear, and like he gets pulled behind a table, and just shreds of flesh and blood and clothes get thrown everywhere as he's torn apart.
Is it thing?
It's a something.
So much harder to replace them when they're
And then
eviscerated.
you hear another glass crash, and then another one around you, and there's these pieces of flesh that are in jars, and they're like moving, like a face here, a head, an arm, and things are coming together and forming. Ralph, before you guys throw up, hey, before you, Ralph, sorry. Before you McCloud everywhere,
Done me clouded my pants.
But aliens.
sorry. Grow up, Lucas. You're so immature.
We all laughed, so.
I will roll
The
a cloud like a sprinkler.
jeez. You're looking at there's books open that seem to be in a shape of a star. Like the 5 books are all 5 different types of magic, or are they? They're 5 different types of something. But the first one you looked at was about enchantment, which is what you do, and it says in quotes the spirit of non-living things. And that's all you get to read before you hear the guy getting ripped apart and glass shattering, and then these creatures that are made of all these different parts that were in jars are starting to stick together in weird conglomerations, and they're like, and they're starting to stand up and form into these fleshy constructs.
Chris?
I am so getting tired of fleshy things. And Ralph will quickly snatch up the 5 books. There's like, let's be upstairs, shall we?
So do you guys make for the stairs and run up them?
Upstairs.
Yeah.
Run like a bunch of like a Scooby-Doo gang.
I have no magic anymore. I
I have magic. It just apparently sucks compared to last session.
I'm just stuffing the 5 books into my bag of books.
Oh, you stuff all 5 books in there?
Yeah, I'm stuffing all 5 of these things. It's like, okay,
You-
let's do it.
I think everybody needs. These things start coming together. I think Alavara has made it to the stairs. I don't know who was behind Alavara. Who was next, moving for the
I
stairs?
was definitely heading towards the stairs because I saw no reason to stay there.
I'd be third.
All right, Cecil. As you get close, these things come out of the woodworks at you. Ralph, as you turn around with the bag full, there's one standing in front of you. You guys will need to
Oh dear.
tell me how you're going to escape the grasp, or what you want to do if you want to get past them.
Well, my staff still has the rune of "get the fuck away from me," so I guess I yeet. I will attempt to bat this thing away with my staff.
So you're going to hack and slash him?
I'm gonna hack him, slash him with my staff that still has the forceful tag attached to it.
Okay, plus strength.
Okay. I'm gonna break this out because it never works for me, but I want
what
to
is
try
with your
it.
10s, Ralph?
I don't
And
know. It's
And-
making up for all the times we fucked up last time.
But just wait till they turn on you, though.
Yeah, well, give me a minute. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I'm
Well,
about to roll
1
my
second.
plus strength, which is a 1.
Ralph, I want Ralph's damage, and then tell me what you're doing. Go ahead, Cecil. Go ahead.
Cecil starts to walk towards the thing, and it pops up near him, and he just turns around, and his suit suddenly changes to the armored version, and he just shouts, "I don't have time for this!" at it, and then
Imposing
I have
presence.
to hit him.
Partial success.
So yeah, I fixed it. Back to normal.
And 7 and 9, they show some resistance, and you will have to back your intent with actions. Okay.
Basically, I was trying to intimidate them. If I own a 10, I would have got them. They would have avoided taking any actions against me.
Alrighty. Frostjäger, thanks for joining us. Last session, they finished the dungeon off that they were in. They got the Z pendant back, which is Zorm's Z pendant. Right. I can't do it. Oh gosh, Lucas, don't mess it up. There it is. Good enough. Good enough. Anyways, they came back to town. We basically created the town and the city that they're from. They went to Zorm's tower to drop it off, and we ended. As we picked up here, the mage guard had come and said, hey, you're corrupted. Everybody in this tower is corrupted. You're going to go in and clean it, or we're going to drop the tower on top of you after a day. That's basically where we're at. Now they come in, and you're surrounded by flesh golems. So, speaking of which, oh, by the way, these are flesh golems. Ralph Cloud, your thing is made up of all these different animal parts. There's like 3 heads and like 4 arms and a couple legs, spindly. And you smash in this thing, it's like, and it whines like a dog, and it slams back and hits the table. And if it had a spine, it would have broken because you slammed it in it. But it just flops back on the table.
It has multiple spines, and one of them does still snap, but it doesn't hurt anything.
Down, boy.
And it sits back up, and it's stunned for a second because you threw it across the room, so you have some leeway. You can make it to the stairs at this point. Cecil, as you just like, yeah, no time for this. The 2 that came at you, they stop for a second, they hesitate, and they have multiple eyes and faces, and they're just weird masses of different bits and bobs that the wizard had around his shop in jars, you know.
Gross.
And yeah, we could go on that with the description. Just make your own frame of reference there. And they hesitate for just a second, but you're going to need to prove that they need to back up.
So I'm going to have to hack and slash, I guess. It's recompensance, or...
It just says you have to back your intent with actions, even if you're like defying danger by like just pushing, like burrowing through them maybe, or you don't have to necessarily hack and slash. You can shoot, it doesn't matter as long, I mean, there's all the defy dangers, one for each stat. You can just be like, I'm going to bust through them.
I will defy danger, and I'll roll with strength again.
You just push, like, what are you doing exactly?
I'm literally smashing them back.
Okay.
And then walking up the stairs.
So you're not
just to hopefully give Ralph room to walk on up too.
Okay. So defy danger with your strength. Mm-hmm.
Just going for the partials tonight. I don't want to truly succeed, because then I'll look everyone else look bad.
So these 2 flesh golems, as you start moving, actually lunge at you, and then like you stiff arm them, like a double stiff arm in football, like one each direction, and then they get pushed back. And Ralph is coming around the corner. They turn and they look, and you have a moment to decide. Here's your decision. You can distract them. Ralph gets up the stairs and they attack you, or you get up the stairs and they attack Ralph.
Ralph goes, he's magic. I don't know magic.
Okay. Claws and teeth. Claws and I'm trying to roll a dice in Twitch. That's dumb.
You never know.
D6. Okay.
Never hurts to try, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Just means you got to put Dicebot out there. Put Rodbot out there.
4 damage as these 2 hit you at the same time, and claws and teeth, minus your armor, of course.
So my armor is... Okay, I gotta expand. Like, I can read, sure. How much? 4?
4 total.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Don't forget, folks at home, if you want to help out these guys, go ahead and donate some cheer bits. 100 bits will get them a +1 to a roll. 200 bits will give me an introduction of a threat to give them. 300 bits gives them an automatic success. So think about spending your money for these folks and for the channel, and we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Please.
2 and 300 ones.
Skip that middle one, right?
After last week, just switch the 2 and 300 ones.
I probably should have.
Just switch. Maybe we should switch them weekly.
I have to go get my dog. I'm gonna be right back. So just chat for a second, guys. I'll be right back.
Man, I wish there was a way to convert channel points into bits. That would make for some interesting things.
Oh yeah.
Be too easy.
So, what are you guys' plans for your next characters? I feel like that's a pertinent discussion right now.
I've already got it right
Oh,
here.
we'll live.
I've already got one.
I
The
haven't
horde is a
made her
thing.
yet.
I've not made him, but
I have
he's
two.
definitely up here.
I have 2
created
ideas,
a
and I have
horde of
character
ants.
art for both of them.
Nice.
In fact, I have 2 different character arts for a dragon. What's that? Dragon Knight, dragon something. The one where I get to be a dragon rider. Damn it!
All right, right back.
Yep.
All right, so how much damage did you take there, Cecil?
Oh, 2.
Okay.
I'm at 10 out of 17.
So he's got 2 of these things on them. The rest of the 3 of you are safe on the steps going up. And immediately upon getting to the steps, as you climb, like Olivara was first, she's about like 4 or 5 steps up when that happened. You just get a whiff of something rotten creeping down the stairs from above.
Oh, again.
Why does the wizard keep dead things in his tower?
It smells rotty. I'm just giving you some stuff. But what do you guys do now? Cecil's engaged. The other 3 of you are safe. So obviously you abandon him to his fate and move on, right?
Well, no.
Sorry.
No, we're not abandoning Cecil to his fate.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, really?
Says
What's wrong
no
with
clip
you?
man.
The uninjured clip man.
So what are you guys doing?
As much as it... Yes, as much as it bothers me, I'm going to go downstairs and wonder what's taking Cecil so long. He needs my assistance.
So what are you going to do?
Going to head down, and I am... In seeing his predicament, I am going to assist him in getting to the stairs.
Okay, so you want to do like an aid?
Let's see. Yep, aid.
So you would roll plus your bonds with them. No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yep, roll plus
Roll
bond.
plus bond.
So how many bonds do you have with Cecil?
1.
Okay, so a 2d6 plus 1. And so if you are successful, if you give a 10 plus, they take a plus 1 or negative 2. Oh.
That's negatory, Captain.
That is a mark XP.
I push him into them. Push him. My plan all along. Haha.
So how did you go to assist him? Let me ask. Tell me describe how you were trying to assist him.
I was trying to reach in, grab a hold of him, and pull him towards the stairs and away from danger, essentially. But clearly that didn't work.
All right, so
I either stumble upon my jacket into him and plunge him even deeper into danger.
oh, here you go. First
Or
of all,
put me both in danger.
mark XP.
Oh, yay.
When you reach for him, you go to grab him, they turn, and you grab one of the flesh golems instead and thrust the flesh golem towards the stairs, right towards Ralph. And so now you have one in between.
I am unintentionally the bad guy.
And then
Surprise. Golems.
you fall yourself off balance a little bit, and the other flesh golem like runs into you, and the spare arms and tentacles sticking out of it grab and wrap around you and pull you into it, and the flesh begins to wrap around you, encasing you inside it.
Is my old friend.
Activate no clip. Activate no clip.
I'm not going to award you damage, but you are basically stuck inside this thing. You will get damaged soon as you feel all kinds of weird fluids start leaking out and burning your skin. I know, it's gross.
Ew.
Ew.
They're flesh oozes. Oh, that's no. Don't say it like that. That's bad. That's gross.
I will say the one thing that nobody wants me to say in this moment. It's moist.
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
thinking
Moving
back.
on,
I'm
moving
thinking
on.
back to the original Mummy. Juicy.
All right, so
Moving on.
Cecil, you're not engaged, but Benny is all wrapped up, and you have another one between you two and Ralph and Olivara.
I'm going to need to do 2 things. But first I have to activate my horde and see how many minions I have available.
Well, you definitely have one less. Even though I know it's
You
just.
say that.
I know. Gang
I've
2?
got 2. Yeah, it actually works out. It's actually come to 2.
Because you said you had 2, then there's a third one that popped up, right? And then he just got wrecked.
Yeah, well, my max is 3. So
Sure.
right now I'm rolling 2. So that's what I got.
So your 2 minions are at your side.
Yep.
And now what do you do?
I'm going to forego
What's that?
my self-defense,
Okay.
and I'm going to do an for the master with them to get them to pull that guy out. Pull out Benny. Basically save Benny from his complication
All
by
right.
spending that horde.
Is that 1 horde or 2?
I'm going to spend 2 on it. So it asks. That is not. Nope. It's not what I meant to do. It doesn't ask. It's just a straight roll, and I add 2 to it.
For the master. Is that a roll of a 6?
Oh, that's a 6.
That's another experience point for me.
Yay!
Once we actually get to level up, Cecil might actually level up twice.
So they're like, yes, sir. And then they run to grab Benny, and they each grab one
And
side.
they joined.
Yep, they try to pull, and it snaps back, and they're sucked into the flesh golem as well.
Oh,
He
for
just
Oh,
sighs.
great. Now I'm stuck in here with those 2.
Somehow it smells.
Don't worry,
even
they'll
worse.
decompose quickly. Their shell here structure, or whatever that's called, is very unstable. They explode so easily.
Wait, what?
Don't wiggle.
That's the funniest damn thing I've heard. They decompose so quickly. I don't know why that was funny to me, but it was. All right, Alavara, what's going on with you? As you watch this unfold.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm not very good at anything
I'm
that's
just gonna take
not
all the actions.
undead.
Now, remember, there are other non-combatant moves, something like discerning realities. That's when you closely study a situation or a person. You can get clues to things.
Actually, a good move right now.
And then aiding or interfering, defending, things like that. So I just want to point out that it's not just all hack and slash for everybody. So I'm just giving you some ideas to roll with. You don't have to do any moves. I just want to make sure I skip over to you because you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah. I'm a discern realities. That's what, a wisdom roll? Wisdom, yes.
Tell us what your elf eyes see.
Sky.
I rolled an 8.
So are you studying the situation that's at hand or a specific person or thing?
The golems. I'm trying to figure out how to mess with the golems. Either
Okay.
what's keeping them together, essentially.
What's
If I
keeping
can
them together?
disrupt that, then maybe, yeah. That's my thought process there.
Because there's questions you get to answer, but I feel like it's what's really in control here. So you're basically
Yeah.
kind of asking what is making these things happen.
Yeah.
Well, as you sit there and you're looking at them, your eyes kind of, you do a thing where your eyes unfocus and you see doubles of everything, and then that moves, and then like your mind's eye, your third eye comes into play and shifts down, it feels like, and all 3 eyes come together in this really weird way that it's kind of, you can't really explain because it's just a feeling, and you can kind of
Astral sight.
Yeah, you can kind of see the ley lines for a moment of everything. As I said, he's built on major ley lines of magic, right? And you can kind of see that there's a ley line underneath here that kind of comes straight up into this castle and goes right up through the center all the way up to the top. And where it normally should be like this, like lightsaber blue, and it's just, the blue lightsaber color. Like it's supposed to be like that. It's much, much darker and smokier, and tendrils of that smokiness are creeping off and into everything, and they're touching all the things on the shelves and basically push them together to create these creatures.
Oh, great. The ley lines are corrupted. That does not bode well.
Oops, did I say that? Okay.
That's how I interpreted it.
Okay.
That is how I interpreted what you said.
That's okay. That sounds good to me. Let's go with that.
I hope I did not just give you more ideas.
I mean, so anyway, You got some good info.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go ahead, just because I have one more toggle. You hear the scratching of long claws and toenails scratching on the stone up the stairs above, as there's movement of, and the rotting smell gets thicker and nastier, and something or some things are starting to creep their way down these stone stairs, in which you and Ralph are closest to.
Oh, come on.
do
pot-
I'm just going to
that?
go ahead and roll last breath real quick.
My GM bank is empty. Fill it up again.
Thank God. Please, no.
So what are you guys
Okay.
doing?
Just give us some 10 pluses, please.
I will remind you that you can try to get back out of here even though you've been sealed in, and there's also a basement stairwell as well.
I just kind of assume the wizard will be at the top because he's the wizard.
Well, sure. I'm just giving you different points of access for your own well-being. Anyway, you guys tell me what's next. I just narrate.
I have a stupid idea.
Sounds perfect. Do it.
Let's do it. They've all worked so far.
I am going to craft enchantment.
Enchantment.
So, and the way I'm doing,
Enchantment.
Jesus fuck, that rolls already.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Okay. So
Pass those good rolls over here.
I don't know what's going on. I don't deserve this many successes. I really don't.
at least somebody's getting them.
But okay, well that kind of seals a lot of stuff in, because otherwise I was going to use the 10 plus to make it work. But similar to what I did in the catacombs, I'm going to take one of the I'm going to take out the magic. I'm going to quickly take out the magic clipboard. I'm going to yank the gemstones out of it, shove them in my pocket. But the clipboard itself, it's probably made of some kind of precious material or brass or some other whatnot.
Sure, that works.
And then we just watch as Ralph just furiously starts scribbling chalk all over this thing. And he's going to enchant this thing to essentially take local. So he's going to try to enchant this thing to suck in localized corruption. He's essentially going to.
Okay, go ahead.
So, considering that, well, what our Reaper has discovered, that the ley line has some issues. I'm essentially trying to sort this out kind of like a filter or a sponge to just kind of slurp in corruption and energy.
Okay, so you roll a 13, which is very good. What? So you want to accomplish, so the effect you want to accomplish, and then how you mark the object. Then you spend 1 to 3 stock and roll plus stock. And you got 10 plus, right?
Yeah.
So you choose 2. So this little clipboard with these jewels on it will now suck in corruption, right?
Yes.
How do you mark it?
So literally it's for this time, instead of like kind of holy symbol with like gold chalk, he's essentially just taken like neutral white chalk, and he's essentially just made a electrical schematic, like electrician schematic on this thing, except since it's written in chalk, it actually sucks things in, and he's just made it kind of like a voltage filter, or like almost like a capacitor.
Oh, I like that.
So that way it sucks corruption in.
All right, so of the 3 things you get to choose, which 2 do you pick out of those 3 things?
So,
because I get to play with the one you don't pick, basically, right? So the enchantment is permanent as long as the mark remains whole and unmarred. The enchantment does not have any known side effects. The enchantment does not have any weird limitations. So you pick which 2. and leave the third open for me.
I'm going to say the enchantment is permanent so long as the markings remain.
Okay, keep sucking in corruption. Got it.
So, and then the enchantment does not have any weird limitations. This
Okay. But it can have side effects.
It can have side effects, but as far as I'm concerned, this is using fundamental forces. This is like playing with electricity and how electricity follows the laws of physics. Magic follows the laws of magical physics.
Okay. All right.
Mystics.
In other ways that you get creative, you'll let me know, but I feel like you could probably use this to damage corrupted things, as like an attack of sorts.
Yeah, I'm in my hope here is that it will weaken whatever these fucking fleshy golem thingy-mabobbers are.
You might have to do it through Defying Danger, but yeah, you might. So I'm trying to think. It could be.
I have a kind of Hail Mary idea.
Like I said, it's a stupid idea, but
No, you do that real quick. She is studying the situation.
Well, I have an idea.
No, that's fine. You're gonna go. I was just saying, like,
Yeah.
they're fighting down there. Benny and these two minions are sucked in. Cecil's kind of like disappointed in them, probably. Ralph is drawing on this thing and redoing it, and it's like making weird colors and sounds. And you've just got done studying the ley lines and the situation. So this is the scene. Something's coming down the stairs. The thing that was pushed towards you guys has its attention on Ralph, and Ralph is like still looking at his gizmo. And we come back to you for the Hail Mary.
This is kind of I don't even. I want to cast Spirit Medium.
Yes.
Let me try to cast first.
Tell me about it, or I can look in your sheet. Oh, there it is.
There's an 11.
Ooh.
Oh, thank God. Okay, so Spirit Medium. While the spell is ongoing, you can detect and interact with ghostly, insubstantial, or extraplanar entities. Any such creatures will be aware of you while the spell is ongoing and more likely to interact with you. So I'm hoping this is the Wizard's Tower, right? I'm assuming he has had interactions with any number of extraplanar beings. I can speak to them. Maybe they could convince them to help us. Let's see. On a 10 plus, choose one consequence. I can't spend soul because I don't have any soul. Oh, for the love of...
What was the spell again, and what can you do with it?
Spirit Medium. It allows me to detect and interact with ghostly, insubstantial, or extraplanar entities.
Okay.
It also makes it so that such beings would be aware of me while the spell is ongoing and more likely to interact with me.
Oh my God! So they're aware of you. Okay. So you have to.
Yeah. The hope being the wizard has had dealings with those kinds of creatures before because he's the wizard, and maybe I can talk them into helping us.
And you don't have to spend a soul. You don't have to spend a soul, but you can spend additional souls to get additional effects, probably.
It
says you spend one.
Hold on. Does it?
It says Well, under soul magic, it does. It's not the specific spell. This is your recap of how soul magic works. So I know you rolled, and I'm assuming you rolled plus.
No. Okay.
I mean,
it doesn't always. It's one of the consequences. So on the list of consequences, it has you spend one soul. The spell has other effects. You may not cast the spell again until the next time you make camp, or you draw attention to yourself or put yourself on the spot. So It's one of the consequences I can choose, which is the easiest one when I get a 10 plus, because I could just spend the soul and have no consequences. But I don't have any soul, so I have to deal with consequences.
I gotcha. So tell me which.
I just have to choose which one.
So the spell has other effects as well. You may not cast the spell again until the next time you make camp. You draw attention to yourself or put yourself in the spot. GM will tell you how.
See, normally I'd choose the last one, but I'm kind of already half dead. So let's do the spell has other effects.
So this is to talk to extraplanar creatures or spirits?
Yeah, it interacts with ghostly, insubstantial, or extraplanar entities. And it's a sustained spell.
So it's ongoing?
So it's ongoing, yeah. Ongoing as long as I basically maintain the spell, I take -1 to cast spells.
Okay, tell me what this looks like when you do this.
So what it looks like is she's basically wreathed in, well, the color of her magic, as we've described, is that deep, kind of almost black lighty purple.
Yeah.
And so she glows, her entire everything. There's this aura around her that is that color of her magic. And then her eyes kind of unfocus, and then they just go pure purple. No whites, no sclera, nothing. Just flat purple.
Okay. And it's maintaining, it's happening. This stays in effect. You feel all kinds of things. You don't just feel the spiritual energy, which in this case, there is spiritual energy. See, there's it's a 3-floor tower plus a basement, right? So 2 floors up on the top floor, you feel a heavy presence of spiritual energy, just like it almost crushes you down into the ground, because as soon as you cast it, it's almost like the sonar thing where it bounces back and you're like, whoa. And you feel the energies of at least 4 distinct spiritual, you feel 4 distinct spiritual entities 2 floors up. Also something light and fluffy with corruption, and something, kind of zany and zormy, maybe. It seems familiar. And then something else that also seems familiar up to the very top, that's very, very dark and bad, but it's the color green comes to mind, and you don't know why at the moment. And then let me just check 1 second here. Where's my... Oh, okay. And then you don't feel much energy from these flesh golems or the ley lines, right? But you do feel energy from the things creeping their way down the stairs, and there's 3 of them. You almost think like you can talk to them from a distance through this spell.
Hello.
The spirit things are too far away to speak to them until they come closer. But you can feel their presence, and you're pretty sure they can feel yours now. But these 3...
They're not too angry.
These 3 things coming down the stairs, one of them is holding something that's full of soul energy.
Hey, look, it's a blue drop from Doom. You can recharge your energy.
Sorry, didn't mean to click that.
Oh no! What did you do?
Click the wrong button.
Okay, we'll disregard for now. So, anyways, I just gave you a whole bunch of crap. You're glowing, and that was, you rolled an 11.
Showing.
No danger. Cecil's in the middle of combat trying to save his minions, and Benny, you're stuck inside. You went, and Ralph has just got done with his invention. You guys are...
I've got it.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Oh, yeah. And you can instantly...
Catches on fire.
The thing that comes, the flesh golem that's almost to you, kind of like recoils a little bit, and it's like swings like 3 of its arms at you, and it uses 2 more arms to like cover its 5 faces, whatever, and it's gross, and it just kind of like steps back and is like...
Can I defy danger and beat it over the head with this thing to hopefully suck all the corruption out of it?
Yeah, I think defying danger with your strength is the way to go here.
Yeah.
Well, you try to beat it in the head, right? Are you trying to do it quickly or more powerfully?
I'm just going like, and just probably with a good amount of thunk behind it.
Yep.
Because the enchantment works better if you hit it harder.
Enchantment.
It's like your TV. You hit your TV harder, it works better.
That's actually how it works
That's
perfectly.
dated. Anymore, not so much. Anymore, you'll just break your TV.
How many of these flesh golems are on the field right now? 3?
3. Defy danger with strength, sir. This is a fresh one. Fresh flesh.
So close.
It's my first thing under 10 tonight, but that's... So there's going to be a couple...
How bad for you.
Yeah,
yes.
but that's...
You're so sad.
Deal your damage. You take 4 as you get
Minus
close
your
to
armor.
as you get close to 4 minus your armor, if you have any.
Rack. Okay, dude.
one of its hands gives you the open palm slap across the face as you bring this clipboard down right between 5 of its eyeballs, and roll your damage to it. I'm gonna say for corrupted creatures, you can have a +1 damage.
So, here's a question, because this is not my staff. Am I still rolling a D4 here, or because this is something?
You still roll your damage.
That's your playbook damage.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it's that +1.
Yep. So 4 damage.
Nice. So how much damage did you
4 and
take?
gave 4 back.
I took 3 damage because my protective, shock me not tattoos and robes do some work, but.
So you get a fleshy wet palm slap to the face, which really just rings your bell. And
why you gotta hit so hard?
But you bring this clipboard down between, like I said, 5 of its eyeballs, and it screeches and it rips apart like a hot knife through butter. It pulls itself apart into pieces and collapses in big chunks of its original pieces onto the floor and stops moving. Good job.
Death book.
Death by clipboard. You're such a bureaucrat. Bureaucracy wins again. That's gotta be the name of this episode. Sorry, maybe.
Death board.
Or death board.
Death by PowerPoint.
Oh my goodness. Death by PowerPoint. That could be good too. You gotta start typing these in the Discord just as we remember them. Anyways, so you guys look up, or maybe you notice, Ralph kills one with a clipboard, whatever, and it just falls to pieces. Everyone's shocked, maybe. Things are coming down the stairs, soon to arrive. What do you guys do now?
I'm going to defy danger to try and power through getting out of this thing.
So you want to muster all your strength and just pull yourself out?
Just how I see it in my head, that's basically the only way he can get out. Is by powering through.
Well, don't think of it so much as like looking at the stats. You described to me, like, if you think he would wriggle.
I did mention exploding minions.
Lenny, for the love of God, whatever you do, please take this fucking 10 in the bank we have.
Yes, please.
Because I would like you to not be mulch.
I will take a 10 to... he basically pulls out both of his razors and hits both of the minions by him.
Like slices each of them?
To get them to explode.
Oh my gosh. And are you using the 10 plus?
Yeah.
Yes.
You tell me what this looks like then.
He is stuck inside this thing, has his razor blades on the inside of his jacket, looks at these two little freaks by him, remembers how they hit the gate and they exploded, and he goes, well, nothing left but to do or die. Reaches in, grabs his razor blades, slashes them both across the throat, and as he flies backward and tumbles onto the floor, covered in mess.
You know what? Go ahead and roll your damage.
Just my class damage.
Yep. I like how you said do or die. It's like, yeah, you do and they die. It's you rolled a 1. Rolled a 1. Okay, I'm keeping track though. And you are free. They explode. This thing, many limbs fly off it, but it's still this lumbering mass of weird, and it's still alive. But you are free. You tumble to the floor. You're covered with all kinds of sick, and Cecil's there, probably like, they're full of helium and TNT. It's weird how they actually are living. And you still have 2 of these left. And
he literally looks up like, well, I mean, if you want to quibble, they're ectoplasmic morphic creatures made of... Never mind.
quiet. Quit
Hammer, hit things.
Quit
Yes. And he
breaking the
just walks
fourth
forward.
wall down there, Cecil
He starts
Soundwave.
running forward to smack the thing while it's distracted.
Alrighty. The one that was just blown up partially.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna look over here because I don't want to see it.
That would
I
be
didn't.
that would be a 6.
Poor Cecil.
Hey, I need 3 more of those 6s, and if I don't die, I level up twice.
Jesus.
Please mark experience, sir.
I did. 14. I mathed
Oh
this
my
out
God.
already.
You slam it down into it, and it sinks into the cavity in which Benny was, and it pulls around and like traps the mace in there briefly, and then these tentacles and claws lash out and pierce you for 5 points of damage, minus your armor, and just I think you take 3 then.
Yep.
And just stab you hard. And that's
Yeah.
and from above you hear Elvira, who's furthest up. You hear they're coming down. They're only a few feet from you now, but like the stairs curl. You know, they it's in a tower, right? So they go
It's a tower.
up
It's
and
a
around.
spiral.
Yeah, spiral. They are. Like you just hear hunger, hunger, hunger. So hungry, hungry, flesh, and just like these different voices, in common or because you're magic, you're not sure, but you understand what they're saying.
Right. That's disturbing. But there's flesh down there that I'd be perfectly okay with them eating.
Mm.
So I'm going to try and parlay.
Parlay. The coat demands you parlay.
Down to the depths of the man.
I forgot that was
without a
actual
parlay.
move. My brain went Pirates of the Caribbean for a second there. I forgot that's an actual move.
When you have
But
leverage,
Parlay.
it makes sense.
Parlay. Damn parlay.
okay,
Cuss the one who came up with parlay.
this is actually
That would
working.
be the French.
Would you like to read that move out loud, Elvira?
When you have leverage on a GM character and manipulate them, roll plus charisma. Leverage is something they need or want. On a hit, they ask you for something and do it. If you make them a promise first, on a 7 and 9, they need some concrete assurance of your promise right now.
So you see these definitely undead, withered creatures with greenish flesh, sagging flesh, pus blisters opened up, matted, nasty hair. They were wearing the garbs of what looked like once regal clothing. Maybe one's male, two look like they may have been female. It's hard to tell. But they're definitely undead, reanimated. They look like they have a spot of intelligence. They look at you with black, lustful eyes. And their teeth have all been filed down. And they just have chunks of flesh hanging out of their mouth. And they're just dripping green ooze. And they see you. And they instantly just like your warm, living presence, they're drawn to it. They're like, hunger. And they start to reach for you and come down the stairs. Tell me what you say to them and roll your charisma.
Okay.
7, 9. Okay.
What does she say?
In and abouts.
In and abouts, it amounts to, I'm not on the menu tonight, and you can eat those, and then I will put your souls to rest, and you will be able to rest. Kind of what I do.
She'll be like, not me. Those things right there.
Yeah, those.
And that will help you. So they want flesh. They are hungry. They need to eat. They look past you and like, their eyes light up even more, even though they don't really light up, but they just get wider and darker if that's possible. So on 7-9, they need some concrete assurance of your promise right now. Okay, they're like, we will feed. But unless you promise us rest, we shall feed upon you too. How can you assure us?
Are you doing this loud enough to where Ralph can hear this?
You can't understand them though.
It sounds garbage.
So she pulls out her sacrificial dagger. And this is probably this is really kind of dark and gross, but she's going to run it over her wrist and basically do enough to do at least a single point of damage. And basically offer them a point of flesh as her assurance.
Oh, like offer them some blood?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna let them come and actually make contact with you? Oh.
Well, that's kind of why I'm doing it with my dagger. I don't quite trust them that far, but
okay.
It's what I have to offer.
I don't think Ralph understands the conversation, but he don't even like what she speaks. She's speaking what they speak, which is garbled, rotten, common. You can't hardly make 2 words out of it. But then she. I
understand why people don't like my magic.
You don't have to take any damage. However, they light up, and Ralph, you see them, and they come down, and she like holds her bloodied wrist out to them, and they stop, and they look at you like, "Are you sure?" And they look down, and then they go. This is gross, but they have these nasty greenish tongues, and they are like,
ugh.
Just once each, because I'm not gonna stay on it because it is gross. I'm trying to eat my dinner here. It's only an apple, but still, come on. And then they do that, and they're like, and they throw their heads back, and they look like they're in rapturous grace. They're just. The memories are so strong. So many memories. And then they come back to normal, and they want to start to push past you guys towards the flesh golems. Well done. What do you do now?
So you're saying that these undead are wearing like fancy clothes?
They're really tattered now, but they were once very fancy robes. Yes, very ornate.
Is there a chance that one of these might be a cadaver of a customer Ralph had at one point?
You would have to discern realities, I think, on that one, with a plus wisdom.
Jiminy Christmas.
I'm just going buttons, guys.
For the love of...
Please pass them over here.
I'm good. I just need 3 more, and then.
I'd rather not lean on the audience to give me my 10 pluses.
It wasn't a crit, but it's a 12.
Jesus.
You get to ask 3 questions or discern realities in accordance to these ghoulish creatures that are coming your way.
Okay. So. What here is not what it appears to be.
What here is that? Well, they used to be human, and they used to be visitors here at Zorm's Tower. They definitely look like they were probably once foreigners. So they're not anyone you've unless the McLeods have had businesses in other cities, they don't not look like locals to Boston.
Okay. What here is useful or valuable to me?
Well, you know,
other than meat shields.
Well, what you know is whatever Olivara just did, she's got them, forgive the expression, eating out of her hand.
Oh, that's good.
But she looks like she temporarily has them subdued, and they are not interested in you guys. But the middle one, Macy, stop. Sorry, I just called the dog. The middle one. Oh
yeah, the magic thing, the soul energy thing.
Yep, but that's something I told you about. But for you see the middle one has its pockets, is like. Okay, there we go. So the 2 of them, both of the women look like aristocrats. The middle one, the man, looks like he was actually a servant of one of them. We'll say that. Okay. And he actually looks like he's not quite human, but something like hybrid before he became this undead creature. But spilling out of his pockets are a bunch of sprockets and mechanical fuses. So there's a lot of extra things that you would like to use spilling out of his pockets.
Okay.
Do not interfere with the undead.
Yeah. You got one more question, too.
But my third question is, what should I be on the lookout for?
Yes. It's hard to... I hate that one sometimes. Like, well, the enemy's right here. At the moment, the flesh golems...
Appendicitis. You're really sick, man.
the flesh... the flesh golems are the...
Halitosis.
Well, after looking at the crew, you realize how beat up everybody is and how drained. You would have a better option of probably retreating down the stairs and locking yourself somewhere else away from everything and recovering before venturing forward. So you should be on the lookout for a safe place in here. You guys can make camp.
Lock ourselves in the cellar.
Okay.
That's your 3 things.
So it's like a brief, and I imagine all this comes through a slow-mo. Like, Ralph is kind of just like he had this spark, like, as he's wiping his face. It's like, hey, did I service that person over there before? It's like, oh, well, I don't know, good.
I'll tell you this. You don't think you have, but you can see some of the parts that are falling out of them are unmistakably McLeod repair parts.
Well, fuck. Sorry, I am trying to moderate my language a little bit. Sorry, Lucas. Who wants to try the cellar? How about we lock ourselves in the cellar?
I would love to. If one of you would please go past me so I can. I'm kind of the only one on his feet down here for the moment.
Benny's picking himself up probably at this moment?
Himself up and going to try and assist Cecil again.
Roll a plus bond with him.
What
can go wrong?
Shut up, sir.
Shut your mouth.
Lay down. Leave the cat alone. Dog's chasing my cat.
So it's 2d6?
Yes, plus however many bonds you have with that person. That's why you can have more than one bond to have better assisting or interfering rolls with them.
Right.
So yeah, +1 with the 1. Ooh, a 9.
9.
Hold on 1 second. My dog wants to go the wrong way. Go.
On a 9, you expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost.
How oddly appropriate.
Okay, so you give him the +1 though, right?
Yep.
Or -2. I'm assuming you give him a +1 to his next roll. Danger, retribution, or a cost. Ease up.
Cecil doesn't need a -2 to keep soaking up experience.
Okay. You manage to push this one or help pull this one out of the way that frees Cecil's mace, and it gives him like a real advantage. But as it's pushing away, the creature grabs your violin out of your case and sucks it right into itself.
Oh, hell no.
You son of a bitch.
Wait, is that me or the creature? Yes.
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 Does Benny actually drop his normal accent like that too?
Yep. That's how mad he is. He even drops his accent.
Drop it like it's hot. All right, so Cecil, I think you have a +1 here.
I bet I do. Let's waste it.
The first golem that
Is
Ralph
it +1 or +2?
he gives you a +1 on top of whatever you
It's
have.
+1.
Okay.
Are you gonna hack your way into this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Here we go.
How does that happen?
I knew it.
Did you already add the +1?
That's
Yeah.
with the +1 added to the base roll.
Holy crap, that's a 6 for people just listening. That's a failure. That's a 1 XP.
I'm at 15. I just need 2 more, and I can level twice. I'm just going to try to master my entire playbook if I survive this one encounter. Just the whole
Ooh.
done. I'm just retiring instantly.
7 points of damage, so 5 coming at you. You're getting nickel and dimed here.
Yep, I'm at 2 HP.
So
Oh,
this thing bear hugs you for a second. You're able to squeeze back out of it, but this time it like digs in with these claws, and as you pull away, it tears pretty well.
Yep. Imagining parts of my armor aren't floating quite in the right zones as they were before, as the cloth that they're made up of is slowly being ripped apart.
Mm-hmm. You guys got to act fast. Are you making a run for the basement? What are you guys doing? The ghouls.
Benny ain't leaving without his damn violin. I'm sorry. This could be the end of Benny for all we know.
I
He
mean,
needs that damn
Alabara also
violin.
has a promise to make good on
What's that?
to the
Flesh.
undead.
The
Oh.
undead things got to eat. But luckily, these things do leave meat all around when I like. Now I'm imagining this clipboard is kind of like the boards, almost like the board for the Monty Python skits for the monks.
Yep.
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 Whack.
So, but
Make for the cellar. They will handle the flesh golems, and we will retrieve your violin.
Could be damaged.
and Ralph at
It
this
is
point is going
Likely
to,
already damaged, unfortunately.
Yeah. Ralph
Right, Ralph.
will surge forward with his death board here.
Jeez.
And he's going to smack the thing that has Betty's violin in it
Okay.
in hopes of disrupting this thing and extracting the violin.
Okay. Remember, so I say you're probably hack and slashing that bad boy. Go for it. There's that beautiful bean footage of a 10.
How?
Screw you, Ralph.
I don't know.
He's friends with Roll20 tonight, and roll your damage. Don't forget +1. Tell me, is that
4
what-
damage total.
And it's smashed.
And Benny's like, my violin, and Alvar's like, we'll get it back. He's like, what? And then Ralph just smashes. You tell
Like,
me.
and I just come up and because the thing is probably distracted by Benny, I just come up and I just whack right on the back of this thing's head or heads.
One of its heads.
And it falls apart. The violin, of course, just like in the movies, is like neatly laying on top of this pile of organs and parts.
A
And
treasure.
the ghouls like shy away from Ralph's thing. I said ghouls. Okay, well they are. Anyway, they shy away from Ralph's death board, and then the last golem, the one that Ralph first pushed against the table, is just coming to attack you, and these 3 ghouls leap on top of it and just start rending it, and giving everybody an opening right now. If you take
All
it.
right.
Okay, down the hole.
Defy danger to get out of here.
Downstairs.
Yep, no rolls needed. You make your way down.
Okay, cool. Because I would have died. I just know it. I want to roll it anyway just to see if I die, but I just know I'll roll like a 2.
Breaks neck going downstairs.
Super dead.
Roll 2 1s.
But yeah,
Oh,
like,
gosh.
but like it's just like nope, everybody in, and like Ralph is the last one in. He just slams the silver door shut, and he looks and like if there's a latch, he's going to latch this thing.
There's a lot of refuge and clutter going down here. You can tell like this entrance to the cellar has not been used for a long time, and you have to push your way through. Like if you were in danger, I'd be making you divide danger to get down there in time, but everything is occupied. So you can push your way through, and if you can do something to block the door, you will have a little bit of a respite here, which is actually good since we're coming near the end of the night. This is actually a perfect time to do this. The stairs are clogged with old stuff and need to be cleared to get down here. You did that. You get down here. This is like an old storage thing. There's old wardrobes. There's old tattered, like moth-eating, tapestries and old furniture that's falling apart. There's nothing down here at the moment as you're barring the door and pushing like an old wardrobe or something against it, right? We'll just say that you do that.
Yeah.
And you haven't had a chance to look around, but you got enough clearing of a space to rest and recuperate and get your breath for a second. And then, but there is one thing that stands out. That on the floor, it's actually stuff is cleared around it, so it's not on top of it. There's definitely like a place on the ground that looks like a portal plate, just like the portal plates that you saw back in the dungeon that those creatures were crawling up through. It's like one of those, but not activated. So it's just there. And there we are. Go ahead.
So can I do two things here, Lucas?
Sure.
For if nothing else, for the express purpose of making this a safe enough spot so we can actually level up and possibly survive this nonsense.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
First off, I would like to analyze Dwemer, which is AKA analyze magic. I'm going to analyze the portal thing to see if it has this negative energy shenanigans attached.
Okay, is that a spell? What do you have to do? Uh-oh. There's that 6.
So I get I get to ask 2 questions. You get to give me one false answer.
So if on a 6, that's what happens.
So yeah, I get to ask 2 questions, but the GM will answer false answer to one of the questions.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Okay, first mark XP.
That's genius.
Yeah, I've marked it.
So you have to ask off those questions, and then I'm gonna give you one right answer and one not right answer.
And you don't have to tell us which one is which, though.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. No.
Obviously.
No.
How is this thing activated?
Okay, so how is this thing activated? Okay. What's the other question?
The other thing is what has been done to or with this thing? Nope, actually, scratch that. My second question is going to be, what's wrong with it and how can it be fixed? AKA, how do I turn it off?
Well, it's not on right now. It's off. So how is it activated and what's wrong with it and how could it be fixed?
Yeah, and I'm just taking some license and saying, how do I make this so this thing can't turn on again?
Okay.
To Ralph, that's fixing it. I'm trying my best to make this a safe place so we can level up, guys.
It's weird that you say
first we gotta bar the door.
I say you barred the door already.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if this thing can pop on and bring out more splooge monsters, down in the dungeons.
That. I don't like the sound of that.
So it's weird that as you
Juicy.
grab those 5 books that you took with you, and the one was about enchantment. The last one that you shoved in there, because it's the last one, it just stuck in your memory, was about blood magic. So it looks like this thing is activated via blood magic, as in actual blood to activate it in some way. Small ritualistic sense, right? And then your eyes kind of like dart over to Alavara for like half a second.
She's just wrapping that wound on her, the self-inflicted wound on her wrist.
Yep. And then what's wrong with it? How can it be fixed? The way to destroy the portal, it would actually take a lot of physical damage or a lot of magical damage, but you have to basically disrupt. Kind of like how if your enchantments are marred, they break. You have to mar it in some way so it's not like a full etching or a full face on it. Like you have to scratch the portrait, so to speak, and that'll damage it. But it takes a tremendous amount of magic or physical force to do such a thing. There you go.
Okay. So, GM, please tell me that means this place is safe enough for us to rest and level up.
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean,
gonna make a camp.
You don't know this, but Alavara did attract and her spell's still ongoing, as far as I know.
Yeah, it's still ongoing.
So, what happens is you have to, to level up. When you have downtime, hours or days, XP equal to the greater than your current level plus 7, you can You can react on your experience and hone your skill. So first you have to make camp. If you guys are going to rest, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to consume a ration if you make camp.
Yep.
Does anybody have a ration to
17.
consume?
Yes.
Yep.
Do that.
If
right
we'd have
now.
rested at my place, you wouldn't have to spend this ration.
Okay, pardon me for trying to make sure we get paid and get the stupid cursed object out of our inventory.
Now,
You did a good job.
I'm going to say it takes
Greedy.
I'm going to say it takes about 10 hours to get a full watch in and a full resting, with people taking watches. You have 24 hours, so you're going to take at least 10. You tell me how many hours you actually want to take for this rest.
Sadly, we can't be here a whole day because,
If it takes
magic
10,
police.
yeah. Well, but if it takes
But we
10
have
hours,
24 hours. They gave us 24 hours.
I imagine
the
that
police did.
entire encounter took us what, 20 minutes?
Not even.
Not even
Not
that.
even.
You're still in that first hour. You're fine.
So yeah, I think we're safe enough to rest because
Yeah.
if we don't rest and recoup some of our, at least our health, because I mean Iron Boy over there is on 2 HP and he's the most
Yeah.
well armored out of all of us. I'm also sitting at 5 HP.
I somehow never lost a single hit point.
I'm
Well-
still at 12 hit points.
So,
I'm so glad I started up the
Are you
stairs
sure you're
first
not a
this
halfling?
night.
so
So I think we're gonna take the full 10.
okay. So if you did a second 10, you can do more. But let's just start with the first 10. You
Yeah.
cannot recover your disability, which is you and Benny's sick. That takes like 3
Yeah.
days of rest. So that's gonna stay on
Yeah.
there. But you guys heal HP equal to half your max HP. So I was looking at Benny's
Thank
sheet.
God.
So whatever your max HP is, divide that by 2, and that's how many hit points you can heal. So Benny has 18 total hit points. He could heal up to 9 right now if he was damaged. So if your HP is 20, you recover 10, no more than your max. So I'd be curious to know where your guys' HP is standing. Benny is full, right?
I'm back up to max.
She's back.
I'm
at
at
10.
12 of
13
21.
13 out of 16.
Okay.
Ten.
Cecil doing good?
Yep, 10 out of 17.
Ooh, man, he took a hit.
Do I have the highest max hit point?
It's whoever's con's highest.
Yeah, I do believe yours was higher than mine.
I
Mine
did.
17.
Yeah, that makes sense. I almost went minimum con, but I was like, I've done that before. I've made that mistake before. Okay.
All right.
Wow.
I'm not going to make you do the take watch yet until you're done. So let's use the rest of the night to level up and then XP.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do level up first and then do the XP. Or you guys have level ups ready to go?
Yes, because
Yes.
to level up, it's 6+ level.
It's 7 plus level, so it's going to cost
7
you.
plus 7.
You're going to have to minus 8 XP from your total.
I just need 2 more XP and I could do 2 level ups at once.
Jesus.
That's kind of what I'm going to kind of pause it and push the XP afterwards, after the healing.
Mhm.
I think it would make more sense. Frost
Yeah.
Jaeger, good night, sir. Thank you for joining us. We will see you soon, probably Friday.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So everybody would get 1 point to spend in one of your stats, strength, dex, con, and the like. You don't go up in HP. The only way you do is by upping your con. And then everybody will get a new ability from levels, not your advanced moves, but because you have your list of like your levels 1 through 5, and then your levels of 6 through 10. So you get to have one new move off your like levels 1 to 5. So I'd just like to know what stat you increase to what number, and then what move you're going to pick.
I increase my strength. Ralph increases his strength by 1 point to 16.
Nice. Is that? I don't think it increases till 17, right? Is it
No, 16 is the magic number to get it to
plus 2?
+2.
Okay.
Plus 2.
Perfect. Did you pick your special ability?
Yes, actually, I wanted to go with. Well, I picked something and now I have changed my mind because instead I want to go with the runic empowerment ability.
Okay.
So I get to add 2 new runes to my runic weapon list.
Oh, okay.
The Rune of Doom. Name a type of monster. The weapon deals an additional plus 1d6 damage to the chosen type.
That's nice.
Nice.
That's real
And
nice.
the Rune of Flame. Add the fiery tag.
Also nice. That's
Nice.
probably a very good. So you got a couple new chalking scries you can do here.
It's like, okay, I know Dad said that these are super duper experimental, but we're gonna die. And so yeah. So I will go ahead and add that in. It's not a roll. So.
Who
Yeah,
else?
that's
Who else has a level up for us? Or is everybody still looking?
I'm going to increase my strength by 1 to 16 to make it a +2.
Nice.
And then I'm going to take on my sheet diverse mob. Your minions have different traits that grant them special abilities and unique flaws. Your horde is made up of 2 types of minions. Select one from traits below. Type 1 is going to be fireproof but sickly.
Fireproof.
And the other one is going to be good with tools but brittle.
Good with tools and fireproof. But brittle and sickly. Oh my goodness. I like it. Okay.
And what that does for me is if I do a for the master with them that meets their positive, it gives them bonus. It gives me a +1 action. Well, when I spend horde to assign minions to a task they're suited to, you take a +1 to that action if applicable. But if an enemy finds a way to exploit their weaknesses, I take a -1 for forward and lose 1 horde when they do so.
All right.
Because I don't necessarily have to spend horde to trigger moves with them. I just, if I tell them to do something, they do it. But it's not much different.
sounds
Because
good.
I keep spending all my horde and one shots to give me the +2, because otherwise it's a base 2d6. But I don't have to do that. I just
Okay.
keep doing it.
Sounds good. Don't forget, guys, to minus your 8 XP off your total.
Yep, I have done so.
Benny,
8.
Benny and Alavara. And then you'll need 9 XP for your next level up. So you guys will not be far behind for that.
Not quite there.
Who has next level up? So,
I guess I'll go.
2 more.
I'm going to, for my ability score increase, I'm going to increase my dexterity from 13 to 14.
okay. Good.
Which apparently doesn't increase my plus to dex, but that's fine.
I think it does at 16 is when you'll go to a +2, and then finally at 18 it does a +3, and I think that's where it maxes. It's not like D&D; it's a little different, but you can get them there. So.
But he's going to increase his dex, and for a special ability, I'm kind of still trying to think of.
That's fine. If you need a minute,
Something.
I don't want to rush you. If you have it done, I just wanted to share it so we share with everybody on screen
Right.
here.
I'm actually thinking of doing Eldritch Tones. Your arcane art is strong, allowing you to choose 2 effects instead of 1.
Oh, like heal and give them a +1 or whatever.
Yeah,
That's a nice one.
I think that's what I'm going to go with is Eldritch Tones.
Okay. Nice.
I have to include that in here.
You still looking, Alavaro?
Well, I downloaded the playbook onto my phone, but now I can't freaking find it.
Here, I actually have the source open right this second. So, are you looking for abilities?
Yeah, I had it pulled open, and then I closed it to open something else, and now I can't freaking find where it saved it on my phone.
Okay, the advanced moves that you have available to you for this level for 2 to 5 is Ashes to Ashes. As you perform last rites, you may choose to turn the corpse you have into ashes. The corpse can then never be raised again, including an undead, nor can its spirit be contacted in any way, shape,
Except by direct intervention by
by
death.
death himself. Canopic jars. The maximum number of soul you can hold now is 4.
Oh.
Exorcist, you can now use Cascade on spirits and extraplanar creatures. When you do so, add the following option to the Cascade list. You drive the target out of any person or object they are possessing, and prevent them from possessing anything else as long as you are present.
There are so many good options on my list.
Yeah. Ferryman.
That was my problem. I was going through it and I'm like, ooh, that one's good. That one's good. If I have soul, I have 2 armor. That one's good.
Yeah, so,
Oh.
Ferryman, when you parlay with ghosts or other intelligent undead, you may offer the Comfort of Oblivion as leverage.
That one seems to fit given tonight.
Yeah,
That's
if
exactly
they
what
accept,
you
they
did.
depart this world for the one beyond the Black Gates. I see dead people.
That one's good.
You no longer have to roll to cast the spell Spirit Medium. You can just cast it whenever you like. Okay. Additionally, Spirit Medium no longer has an ongoing cost.
Yeah. Also fits after tonight.
So Phantom Guard is the one where if you have a soul, have at least 1 soul, then you get 2 armor.
Okay, I've got it pulled up. I could choose a spell from the cleric list. When someone takes their last breath in your presence, to take a +1. When you enter a new place, the spirits of the dead will tell you a fact from the history of that location, or something that has changed since you were there last. Or Vital Transfer. When you touch someone, you can spend 1 soul to heal them of 1d6 damage, as many times as you like, as long as you have soul to spend.
Holy crap, those are all really good.
There's so many good options!
If you don't have
I
one,
wish I had that many good options.
Yeah, the bards are kind of...
he's utility. It really
I learned
depends.
that late in the game.
Yeah.
I think the bard's a really good character. Just the dice have to roll well for you too, though. That's part of it.
That is part of it.
And also, like,
I will let you know what I choose by the time we start next week.
that's fine.
Or
2 weeks.
next time.
Benny,
2 weeks, yeah.
and this there'll be something I have to give opportunities. Like you have a thing that affects more of like living people, or when you talk to them too. There's a lot of manipulation and things you can do against that, right? So I try to balance it so everybody gets a bit. He's had to turn Cecil's minions against him. That's all. Anyways, forget I said that. So we will do. So everybody's leveled up. We'll get Alavarus next time. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
We'll do end of session XP, so it'll get you a little bit more and get you close to your next level after you rest. And if you guys choose to make another camp, you can. But I think what we'll do is you'll have to do a take watch action. I'm gonna come back maybe just 1 and see what happens when you're in the basement and see if anything disturbs you. So I won't make everybody do a watch. We'll just do 1. We'll pick somebody to do it. All right. As a matter of fact, that's a roll wisdom. So before we roll out here, pick the 1 person that you want to make the take watch roll, and then have someone roll it. It's a plus wisdom.
I have a +1.
I can do it. Wisdom's my good stat.
Let me ask you, Alavar, do you keep your spell activated all through your taking rest? Or do you eventually let the spell go when you rest?
Nah, she would, especially given what she saw after casting the spell, she would most certainly keep it going.
Okay.
Throughout the entirety.
Let's make a note that that's still happening next time, but go ahead and roll
Yeah.
plus wisdom.
You really do see dead people in your sleep.
That's a 7.
You react just a moment too late. Your companions in the camp are awake but haven't had time to prepare. They have weapons and armor but little else. Okay, we'll just see what happens. That's for next
I have
time.
a +2.
The thing is
Could've
going to
been
open
worse.
up, isn't it?
I mean,
You're going to hear slorp, slorp, slorp.
maybe.
Oh yeah, my increased attribute. I'm increasing wisdom from 16 to 17.
Okay.
Cool.
Almost. You almost got that
Yeah.
+3. I know you're going for that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
May as well get it to 18 and then do something else, right? So.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So we'll have a little cliffhanger. You guys are sleeping. It's your watch. I'm not sure if Ralph told anybody about the portal out loud, but
He probably would have said, yeah, so long as nobody bleeds on it. Don't bleed on it.
Got it. No bleeding.
um,
She kind of adjusts.
His
her
Cecil's over there
bandages
laying
again.
on across a box and just like, you say that now.
so you have the spell going. This is the cliffhanger. Then we'll do end of session XP. Then we'll be done. We'll do shout drills and everything. You're on your watch. The other 3 are sleeping, or whatever. They're in meditative state. Ralph, like a dwarf, is sawing logs. He needs a CPAP machine on. Doesn't have it with him, so he's waking the dead, literally. Anyway, and you're just waiting for that stone to light up. Of course you are. You're waiting for the ghouls to scratch on the other side of the barricade.
Waiting for them to get impatient.
Yep. And neither of that happens. You feel that spiritual energy. Temporarily, one of the 4 entities on the top floor breaks away, and it comes shooting straight down to the second floor, to the first floor, through the ceiling of the basement, and right in front of you, you're looking at the full-on Force ghost, right, of your husband's spirit, and he's face to face with you, and he's like, LaTorra, help me, and he gets sucked back up, and we cut to black, and that is the end of our episode.
Now it's personal.
Super.
Doom Guy song.
Huh.
Come back in 2 weeks for the exciting conclusion.
And they took Bun Bun. It's on, bitches.
I love.
Well, this is gonna be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to make it that way. You're all connected. It's all good. Anyway, that's the end of Dungeon World Indigo Magic episode 4. Let's do the end of session XP real quick and Chatros, and then we'll be out of here. Let everybody have a good rest of the week. So, has anybody had a bond that you think is resolved or no longer relevant? Cecil.
Benny, I don't feel that he's an aid to the party anymore.
Oh, because he cost you your minute. Okay.
Well, no, because he almost cost me my life and almost killed someone else by throwing the bad guys at the people I was trying to defend from said bad guys so they could go up the stairs and do the sacrifice play that I totally wasn't actually sacrificing for. I just wanted to be out of sight so I could do some cool stuff. But no, you ruined it.
I'm not even going to argue.
You ruined it for me. You ruined it.
Just wait. All right.
Quite honestly, right now, I'm even seeing Benny as useless.
Well,
Changing it to a possible decent meat shield.
so that's the bond going away, mark XP, and that's the new bond coming in.
Yep.
Benny, I'm pulling for you, man. I got some things in mind for you. Just hang in there.
I'd like to add a new bond
Okay.
with Benny.
But you didn't resolve one yet. Or
I haven't resolved one.
Okay.
But I would like to add a new bond with Benny.
Okay.
So I had to save this prima donna's priceless violin. He better be thankful for it.
Ah. Okay. Benny, is that agreeable to you?
It's perfectly agreeable.
And if at any point he's ever like, hey, thanks again, by the way. Yeah, obviously, bond's resolved. Or if you think he never will be thankful, then yeah, that's perfect.
Oh yeah, I feel since we're going over bonds, I didn't resolve one, but I did. I was looking at my bonds earlier, and I was like, I only have bonds with Cecil right now. I couldn't think of one for Ralph, so I came up with one for Benny. It probably should have been there from the beginning, and it's that Benny is the closest thing I have to a friend.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because
Given their history that we discussed, like even before we began this, I'm like, that probably should have been there from the beginning.
okay. No,
That
that's
kind of makes sense.
Benny. Do you agree with that?
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay. That's good. At least we're getting
Because
the
I know
bonds
he's
written.
got bonds with there's bonds going the other way from Benny to Alavara, but Alavara didn't have any bonds with Benny, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Yep. Yeah, fill in those gaps, guys. If you think of them later on too, always you can put them in and just let us know. Anybody else have a bond they think is resolved or no longer relevant for XP purposes? It's fine if not. So, all right. So next part is once bonds have been updated, look at your alignment. If you fulfilled the alignment at least once, mark XP.
Yep.
I did.
Go ahead, Alavara. Tell me.
To carry out a spirit's last request. I mean, I kind of helped the ghouls get their flesh.
Okay. Yep,
Get
I agree.
their nums.
Mark XP. Ralph.
I discovered something about a magical mystery.
What's
A,
that?
the weird circle thing is one
Portal.
example, but B, I figured out how to make a death death board to suck in corruption, and then finally on top of that, yes, the entire tower is corrupted. So is the pendant, and we have been corrupted by proximity.
And you still have the pendant on you.
Yep. Yep.
Excellent.
And I've probably laid it on top of the death board because that probably won't explode.
Oh, that's
Maybe
right.
we should take turns carrying it to lessen the corruption.
What's the death board supposed to have? What was the thing I was supposed to be able to use?
It had an
It has
side
weird side
complication.
effect. It can have a weird side effect.
I'm going to type that in the chat just fine. What you just said, you placed the Z pendant on it. All right.
Oh, right. I saved the book to my drive. No wonder I couldn't find it.
Perfect. I'll just put that in there for now. All right. So any more alignments, or we'll move to the 3 questions? Okay.
I have yet to do mine.
No problem.
I failed my first attempt of the session, and so far, it's failed every time. But one time, I will get it.
All right, then.
Watch the second half of the season. Cecil is going to be carrying all of us. Like his back is going to hurt from carrying us in the rest of the campaign.
Perhaps.
Minions will carry you. I won't carry you. Huh?
Okay. My
I'll
minions.
have them pull up the cart that they pull.
All right. 3 questions, and everybody marks XP if the answer is yes. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
Yes.
Yeah.
Corruption.
What's that?
Corruption's pretty important.
The
Corruption.
wizard's magic is gone corrupt and is corrupting everything else by proxy.
Okay. Corruption's a serious crime or a serious.
There's that too.
That and the mage guard
The mage guard are pricks.
are pricks. They're like cacti.
And I can level up again.
I based them off. Those 3 off characters from a TV show I'm loving right now. I'll talk about that later. All right. So everybody marks 1 XP. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
We
Flesh
smack-
golems.
we smacked flesh golems.
I agree. Flesh golems are nasty
Those are-
business. Everybody mark
Yeah.
XP for that one.
Hooray.
And last question: did we loot a memorable treasure?
I
No.
would say
I mean, I looted the books.
Oh, he got the books.
Do you think those are memorable?
I think they're important because you wouldn't have described them sitting in a pentagram.
Well, maybe you're just right. So go ahead, everybody mark 1 more XP. I did say it was talking about 5 different magics, and I told you 2 of them.
All right.
One
let's do
was
this.
blood magic, and one is enchantment.
All I need is
One away.
4 more. Level 4.
I don't
Jesus.
deserve it. I just dinged again. I don't deserve
And
it.
then Benny's close behind, then Alavara probably, right? It's those.
I'm at 5 experience right now, so
7
I'm
plus 2 is 9.
So you have to get to 9.
8 right now.
All right, 8.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm sitting at 8 right now.
You guys will definitely be level 3 before you leave this tower. Well, by the time you leave
I'm
the tower.
already able to be there. All we have to do is make a camp again.
That's true. You can.
I'm already there.
You can go out. You basically can go out and fight for another 3 or 4 hours and make camp one more time, if you had to. And then go out.
Just walk out and smoke the guards too. Boom! Oh, get out of my way.
Gone, thought.
I am the Overlord. I mean, tell me.
Oh man. Okay.
What book is the Overlord in? What
It's its
book is
own.
the Overlord in?
It's on its own. It was just on the webpage.
Oh, okay.
I give it to you. I'll put it in the chat here in a second.
So everybody,
And you say, I wanted to look at it.
thanks for joining us tonight. Everybody was out there. Thanks for not murdering the players. Another viewer.
Thank you.
Bristol Lurch, Commander Root, Jodo 1025, and Rubber Slayer.
think
Thanks
it's
for
too
being in
big.
chat and hanging
No,
out
it's not too
tonight.
big.
And then there's a guy that was talking that we hadn't seen before, Wind Up 13. I'm not sure if he's here anymore, but it was nice having that guy coming in and telling us a little about his GM Dungeon World experience. But I'm Lucasgvariety. I don't have much to say, but follow, like, subscribe. Appreciate all of the support for everybody here. And we're alternating Tuesdays with Alien RPG, which will be next week. And then Fridays and Thursdays will alternate bi-weekly, which sounds weird. But Fridays right now is Robotech. And I'm going to shift everything back to Thursdays eventually. But right now, Fridays is Robotech. And then coming in a couple weeks, starting on a Thursday night, is going to be Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I'm finally taking a leap after like 4 years of doing this. And we're going to start doing the Yawning Portal book, at least starting out with the Sunless Citadel. And I know Jodo's in there. I think he's the only one in this group. We got Frost. And actually, Jeff knows him, but Josh from our game that we just played with Tom.
Jeff Harwood. Josh Harwood.
Yeah, Josh Harwood. He's going to be joining us as well. So he's going to
Awesome.
be my first Brit on the show. I am so excited to have this guy. He was so cool.
Be ready. If he's still in Britland, he's going to, considering how many Brits I've had on my shows, they turn into crazy pumpkins after a certain hour. I think it's hilarious.
It will be late for him. That's true. So, and yeah, so it's going to be a good crew. And then I'm blanking out on my last. Oh yeah, and then Joseph from our Alien game. So that's a good crew right there. So I'm excited to start that up to actually do Dungeons and Dragons. But that's all I got. I plan to be back here on Friday with my friends as long as I don't have to work, which I shouldn't have to. So just stay tuned. I'm going to pass it right over. I'm going to go right to Benny since I was talking to him, and we'll go clockwise to Alavara, and then Soundwaves and Cecil and Ralph to end this night out. So go ahead, Benny. Give us a shout, Tro. I'll shut up for a minute.
Hi, everybody. This is Jeff Beck. I was just saying that I have a channel on Smule, which is an app where I've been doing voice acting and singing. Go ahead and follow me there at JeffBeck1108. And that's really all I have. Ava?
All right, I am Ava Rogers, or you can find me on Twitter at ThatNerdyWriter, which, if you can't tell, is where it's most of my writing stuff. I plan on being a published author one day. I think that's all I have, is just my Twitter. Whoever was next.
The Overlord.
What?
It's the manager. The Overlord manager.
It's fine. Yeah. I am currently playing Cecil Angelson. I go by the handle of Soundwaves Ghost, and on my other game, I call myself Mother, as I am in control of Alien RPG, a delightful game of horror built around the idea of you don't have much going on except death, and try not to meet it face first.
Face hugger first.
Face hugger first too. That's possible. And on Fridays I play Captain Paul Colors, so I can wear a cool, fun hat. That's the only reason I even play that game. Anyway, as always, thanks for everyone who came out. Thanks for Lucas for letting me play. And next Tuesday I'll see you guys again and see how many I can eat. That's it for me.
So, all right, and then of course there's me, the talkative one. So, howdy folks, I'm Jodo1025, and once again I have the pleasure of being here. And big thank you to Lucas for letting me come along for the ride, and also start jumping on the ride for the whole Dungeons and Dragons one. That one I am excited. I'm sorry, Foo. Is that merch? Are you wearing merch?
Who?
You.
Me? What?
Yes, you.
Wear my own shirt.
He's got merch. When did you get merch?
Oh, I've had this thing for a couple of years. I didn't mean-
Jealous. Jelly.
I went to a convention, so I wanted to self-advertise. I'm happy to say I got 0 subscribers from that. But anyway, it's a nice cotton, so it's...
You might need to reconsider about opening up a merch shop again.
Yeah.
But anywho, sidetrack aside, sorry, I saw that as like, holy crap. But yeah, but when I'm not being a hobo here on Lucas's channel, because I'm kind of have crept into everything he has here, I'm kind of like the stain that doesn't go away.
Oh, that's so gross.
You splooge monster.
Shut up.
You can catch me over on my channel, twitch.tv/Jodo1025, where I also do Dungeons and Dragons content. I've had a long-standing campaign that I've been that we're in our second year of broadcast, which has been my Titans of Moran campaign. And my next episode is actually tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm weird. I live in Mountain Time, so of course I do all my postings in Mountain Standard Time. It's going to be interesting because now my crew can go a couple places after they've kind of halfway burnt down the city. So because of course they did. But that's part of my Extra Life charity drive, which the other big part of that is right now at current this week, you can catch me every day this week, starting from 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time until about at least 5 p.m. As I am doing my 6 days of streaming fundraiser for Extra Life charity, where I am going to be playing various games over the period of the day. I have a break with a little bit of story time, telling you guys about why I do Extra Life and kind of like what my history is and where I get inspired from. So you can definitely catch that over there, and hopefully, if you feel willing, you would donate to Extra Life charity. If you want to find more out about that, definitely come check me out over on my channel. And then finally, the big announcement, the big thing this week is to conclude the 6 days of streaming. So this Saturday, July 11th, I have a major fundraiser that has been delayed so many times due to events, but we're for sure a go this time for Mad Maureen's Menagerie, where the halfling wizard Maureen, who originally unleashed a Tarrasque on the world, is at it again, trying to find the perfect pet. And our team of adventurers who took part in the terrible Tarrasque task have to essentially get the band back together and go deal with Maureen's shenanigans. It's a lot of fun, and I'm not the DM for that one, that's even more exciting because it means I get to play Jib Job Uru Kraka, my bugbear battle master.
I love that name so much. Jib Job Uru Kraka.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. It is actually DM'd by the cast member who plays Beeble on my channel, Mr. Mighty M, and it is a ton of fun, and there's going to be tons of tier donation rewards for that. So you, the viewer, can affect the game, much like you can affect it here, which if you like the stuff Lucas is doing here, make sure you get lots of bits and throw it away to help us players out, because help. Anyway, big thank you to Lucas for letting me go on and on and on here. Big thank you to my fellow cast members for dealing with my shenanigans today. And I will turn it over to our mighty host.
All right.
I bid you do.
Thank you. Time to get out. Help us. And this goes for my cast here and the people watching in Twitch, anybody in the community. I got a little link in the Twitch survey called !survey. Take 1 minute and take it, so you can help give us future direction for the games on this channel, the shows we're going to do. If you want to be a player or a GM or just like being an audience member, everybody and anybody who is interested or around, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the feedback. If you would just take a moment to take it, to give me a feedback, and that's why we're doing the D&D game, because that was one of the bigger feedbacks, but I just like to have the information. So that's all I ask there. Otherwise, we are out and it's time to go. So everybody, thanks for being here. Have a good night. God bless and good gaming. We will see you in a few days. Peace, guys. Let's roll that beautiful curtain down. I'll delay and talk because for some reason the curtain going down is delayed lately. But anyways, we're out.